Welcome to Inside AFIMSC, a new podcast where we get to know members of our dynamic AFIMSC team. And I'm Veronica Kemeny, your host today, and I'm here with Chief Tiffany Griego. She's from the Air Force Civil Engineer Center. Welcome, Chief.
Thank you. Thank you.
So tell us what you do to support AFCEC.
So my responsibilities are for training and development of Air Force Civil Engineer Operations Managers, the AFSC 3E6X1.
So are these enlisted folks
They
that you're
are.
taking care of? And how big is this pool that you're taking care of?
So between active duty, guard, and reserve personnel, we have over 1,000 airmen.
Wow.
Total force airmen.
Wow.
Yes.
So you're busy.
Very, very.
And how are you helping them?
So I work with SMEs across the field, across the enterprise, to identify and support technical school training,
Okay.
advanced training, and validation of wartime skills training.
Oh, wow.
So anything training related for this particular career field is it starts with this particular position, the Force Development Manager.
So are you helping get people to schools and places they need to go? These enlisted
So
civil engineer
I
team
help
members?
them to determine what skill sets are required for upgrade training.
Okay.
For 3-level, which is your technical school apprentice, for 5-level, your upgrade training, your 7-level upgrade training, and any additional supplemental course training that's required throughout their careers.
Wow. And how long have you been doing this job?
Slightly over a year and a half.
And what's the best part of this job?
Is going out to the field and working with the airmen, meeting the airmen, seeing the airmen, hearing their stories, and just making connections with the airmen.
And I know recently I got to witness you pinned on Chief, and that was very exciting because really you are cream of the crop, because it's only, so our listeners know, the top 1% make Chief, and you made it your first time. So tell me about that. I was so impressed.
Thank you. Yes, it was my first time testing, and just like anyone else, I studied, and as I've been told by my mentors throughout your career, as long as you put in the work, you know, your evaluations and your decorations, they show what you're doing, and when it's your time, it's your time. So
Wow.
I appreciate that, the work that not only myself, because no one gets promoted on their own, the teams who have supported me throughout my career, basically this is recognition for them as well.
And I see you also wear the Security Forces badge. So how long have you actually been in civil engineering? And I guess you started out in Security Forces. Tell me a little bit about that.
I did. So my first enlistment, I was a Security Forces member, and I was assigned to several bases, Eglin and Osan.
Wow.
Osan pretty much sealed the deal for me as far as cross training. I wanted to do something else. Mm-hmm. I wanted to expand my horizons, and I was able to see what civil engineers were doing to support other organizations.
Because you were out on the flight line in Korea.
Right.
Wow.
And I was able to see that. So I took a chance and cross-trained.
Excellent.
Yes.
And so what have you done? So you've been in civil engineering, 17 years now?
17
roughly?
or 18, yes.
Okay.
Yes. What have I done?
And where have you been around the world? Everyone in CE has always traveled, deployed.
Yes.
Tell me about your experiences and why CE is great.
So one interesting experience and assignment that I've had was the opportunity to work in Greenland, Thule, Greenland.
Oh, wow.
So I was there for 1 year. It's obviously a remote assignment.
Okay.
CE is not a squadron over there. There's a support squadron. We're part of the support squadron. So I was in a 1 deep position, and I was the unaccompanied housing manager responsible just not for active duty, but also contractors and DoD civilians housing. Additionally, I was a contracting officer representative for the resources in Thule, Greenland. So just the CE resources.
That's very diverse, because
was.
a lot of times people don't know what civil engineer personnel do, and it sounds like you were doing all kinds of things.
Yes, it was quite interesting.
So I just wanted to ask too, how have you become so successful? What have you lived by? Obviously you've had mentors. You mentioned mentors.
Yes.
Is there any that stand out to you?
Mentors. Yes, I always seek out leaders, right? You can tell a leader from the very moment that you meet them without them saying a word. I truly believe that you can tell a leader. And so I seek out mentors. Any that truly come to mind. My first mentor obviously was my mom.
Okay.
And my second mentor obviously was my husband, is my husband. And so I go to them, have gone to them, to seek out advice or recommendations, because they've traveled, they've lived, they've experienced certain situations or scenarios that, I may be getting ready to encounter or am currently encountering. So some of the things that I live by for success is trust your instincts, number one. Definitely trust your instincts. And sometimes you have to stand alone. And what I mean by that is some of the decisions that we have to make as leaders may not be popular decisions. But once you make a decision, stand by it and stand on it.
That's great.
Stand on it. And sometimes you will make mistakes, but that's okay. The lesson is not to repeat those mistakes,
right,
but to learn from those mistakes and then help others so that they don't make the same mistakes.
Right. That's excellent.
Yes.
And obviously you're a hard worker, and to make chief the first time is just amazing. So your work ethic is obviously there. Is there anything you want to pass on to some of our younger members in the Air Force or enlisted that you've lived by as part of your success?
Step outside of your comfort zone. Sometimes I believe that we're afraid to do something different, but in those opportunities, in those situations, there are opportunities, and those are opportunities where you can learn, and those are opportunities where you can shine, and there are opportunities where you can excel. So, yes.
And what about education? Because we know in today's Air Force, to be cream of the crop 1%, chief, you've got to also get your education. So what do you tell young enlisted troops about not only doing their job well and the best it can be done, but also excelling in your education to get you ahead?
That's a very good question. So I am of the mindset, because of my upbringing, that education is important in general. Whether or not you choose to make the Air Force your career, education is of absolute importance, because it can take you anywhere, right? So a good work ethic is great, but an education can take you further. I'm of that mindset. And so from very on, I encourage my airmen who I've supervised throughout the years to complete their CCAF degree and to pursue higher education. I love learning. I love going to school. I love sitting in a classroom. Any type of learning, I really enjoy it. So in the job that we do, we're always learning. You never stop. A leader never stops learning. So continue to pursue your education in whatever way or manner that suits you.
So reflecting back to your young days in the military. Is there any additional advice you tell someone coming up the ranks in civil engineering?
Definitely. Be mindful of who you surround yourself with. Definitely surround yourself with good people. People that have your best interests at heart. People that will challenge you, and you can do the same.
That's excellent advice. Well, thank you, Chief, for joining us. I'm Veronica Kemeny. Thanks, a great podcast here. And if you'd like to visit our website, AFIMSC, please do that at af.mil. And we're also on Divids. And please follow us on the conversation on Facebook. And thanks, Chief, for joining us again.
Thank you for having me.